So I came home one day. In my hand was a high distinction certificate from my school, and a big smile full of hope. And soon I realized my mom just got back from hospital, and she was diagnosed with a kidney infection. So I knew that I couldn't be going back to school again. But that situation was very difficult. But it was also teaching me the lesson of taking of a sick mom, and also how to take care of her and how uncertain life could be. I want you to reflect again on when you became an adult. Was that when you reached 18 years old, having the right to vote, being at university, or even moving out of home, having your license and can be drinking? But for me, when it was in one afternoon in springtime when I was 13 years old, my mom took me on the back of her bicycle along the deck, and she sent me to someone who she never knew, and to a place that we both have never been to, the capital city of Vietnam, Hanoi City. So I became an adult, and I started earning money by being a babysitter and helping my mom and my brother and my sister, because I believe that education is the key to break the cycle of poverty. So I want them to remain at school, and I wanted to give that opportunity to them. So I became a babysitter by earning $10 per month, working hard from 6 a.m. to 12 a.m. the next day, and looking after a 4-month-old baby, where I was a little baby as well. And when I reached to 7 years old, as a culture of things, the women in my countryside, they all are asked to come home, work on the farm, getting married, having a lot of kids, and I decided it wasn't my life. So I stayed back in Hanoi and I went back to school. But the family I lived with, they didn't happy for me to be at school, spending time on studying, so they kicked me out of their house one day just right before Christmas, and I got really lost in Hanoi. So I got really lost and had no friends, no family, no money, no education, and I ended up living on the street of Hanoi. And I found a landlord, and I lived under the staircase. So I had no job, but I still wanted to study. So I woke up every morning at 2 a.m. cooking sticky rice and sold it on the street. Not until today that I know that it was a real entrepreneurship lessons, from calculating costs, knowing your competitors, and having calculating your margins. So I cooked sticky rice, sold it on the street, did cleaning job, make cake, and every day I slept 2 hours. I didn't know how I do it back then, but I just kept doing it. And the area that I live was very complicated. A lot of people was committed to drugs and to crime, and it's a very, very rural area in Hanoi. So I went back to school, but every day was really like a survival day, and it just kept working like that. No hope, no future, no friends. So one night I went back from school, and from very small conversation with my classmate, the only one classmate, that has totally changed my life. And she told me about an NGO that helps street kids and disadvantaged youth. I immediately said no. I lost all trust in humanity, and I was lack of confidence, and I even thought that I might be ended up trafficking in China. So I was very hesitated. And 2 months later, I didn't know where to go, so I decided to make a visit first. And that visit not only changed my life, but also opened a whole new chapter of my life with possibilities. So I became a trainee there, and I studied hospitality. And that classmate taught me how to trust people again, because there are still a lot of good people exist in this world. So she changed the perception of how I trust people, and how even one person that you could trust in this world is still opportunity for you to change your life. So after that, I worked for the five-star hotel. So you could imagine like working on the street most of my life and working as a waitress in a five-star hotel, how amazing it is and how much different it is, and earning a stable income, being respected by people, which was just amazing. From working from the hotel, and then having the opportunity to travel the world to earn a scholarship and study in Australia, it is a miracle. And to stand here with you guys today to share my story, it is really a privilege that I'm really grateful for. Look back to the journey that I have been to. I have few lessons learned that I really wanted to share. And the first lesson learned is about making choice. For a mother who couldn't raise her daughter up and have to send her daughter to someone else, that we never know. It wasn't a choice. And for a 13-year-old girl to move out of home and to somewhere that she haven't known, it wasn't a choice too. And left school, it wasn't a choice. But we all have a choice to make our life better by living a dream and living a life with purpose in everything you do. So and all of that lessons that helped me to trust people again. And the lesson 2 is about education. So education is not just about formal education. It's about the lesson learned, every single lesson learned that you learn from every single person you meet in your life. That's what matters. And that is how you transform your life, how you transform you from the version of yesterday to be a better version of today. So for me, education is not about the academic learning, but it's about the informal education that we learn each day. And lesson 3 is about difficulties. When we have difficulties, we always think, why is me? Why is not someone else? Or is that me again? But actually, difficulties is a test. And the tears, the anger, the sufferings that you have today is actually impermanent. It's not going with you for the long journey. It's going to end somewhere. But we always think that in our very difficult situation, we will always think like, this is the end of the world. But it's not. So difficulty is something for you to strive for the better. So that is the lesson 3. And my lesson 4 is I want to tell you about a quote that I really like. The quote is, be ready for the opportunity that is showing up, and luck will come when the opportunity and preparation are met. And in my case, I always dare to dream to go to Australia to study. Everyone said that it was crazy. I knew I didn't speak a word of English when I first studied. And going to Australia, it's just for someone who is top university student or who has a lot of money from her dad and her mom. It's called parent scholarship. So, but I did prepare. Every time when I study English. I learned about this scholarship that I need to apply, and one day it just showed up. And I was ready. So I was ready for every opportunity that show up in my life. And I discovered the strength and the inner strength in myself that I never thought that one day I could do it. So be ready for the opportunities that show up to your life. Ladies and gentlemen, we may think that education is the only way to lead to success and to earn money, to have properties, investment, and all sort of wealth that coming from education. You spend a lot of money to study, and you want to get it back. But informal education is also brings people holistic experience in your life. And for me, success is not just about going to Australia or getting a master's degree or being a top university student like everyone else. But success for me is about going through all that difficulties, but still keep the authenticity of myself. And also to be positive, that life is going to be better. And life has always offered you two things, negative things and, positiveness, that you are the only person who decide which energy you keep for yourself. So, and success for me is about, going through that difficulties, but also helping my families. And one day hearing from my mom that, thank you for making my life better. How amazing is it? And for me, success is also about being able to be the inspiration for the young women of people, and the hope for the hope for the street children, the disadvantaged children who is out there doesn't have an opportunity. And success for me is, also to be able to change the path that without love, education, empowerment, and faith, and trust would have been so much difficult. So that is for me is success. I ride my bicycle to work. I have my lunchbox, and I don't have a big house, but I feel I'm successful because I'm always hopeful. So if I have an advice that I could give to the girls out there who are in my position of 15 years ago, I would tell them that education and trust don't necessarily come in one form, but it can be from the bus driver who waited for you for a minute, but teach you the lesson of being punctual and being kind and being patient. Education is not just about being top university student or being a good university student, but the ability to equip your knowledge and perceive the knowledge from everyone that you meet in your life that transform you each day, and to be able to grab every opportunity that show up in your life. And for me, the most important thing is that you need to see yourself grow each day by learning from different people. It's not just 4 years at university. Thank you.